inexperienced. He is not ready to be commander-in-chief. He is not ready to be president. Joining us from San Francisco is Superdelegate Chrstine Pelosi, who is an elected member of the DNC and author of the book, Campaign Boot Camp, Basic Training for Future Leaders. She is also the daughter of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Chrstine, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Nora. My pleasure.
Let me ask you about this Politico story that essentially there are top Republicans who are worried about in the general election either running against a woman or an African American, and they are worried that attacking a woman or an African American may lead to charges of sexism and racism. So they're doing all these polling and focus groups to sort of test the boundaries of attacking a minority or female candidate. What do you think about that?
Well, Nora, I think that what the Republicans are finding out is that the American people are very open to seeing a woman or an African-American commander-in-chief, and perhaps they'll be inspired to diversify their own presidential ticket as well as run candidates for Congress from the minority community and encourage women to run for office at all levels of government. Because I think what they're finding is that the American people are excited for change, especially when you look at young voters. I just got off the phone with Celinda Lake, who did polling for Rock the Vote that came out today, that talked about how these young voters are trending Democratic. And in my book, Campaign Boot Camp, Celinda Lake says, if you look at the research, the first 3 times that you vote determines your pattern. Young people were for Democrats in 2004 and 2006. So in 2008, Democrats are trying to seal the deal and Republicans are trying to break the pattern. And if they go negative, I think that it will hurt them with young voters, not only this time, but for generations to come.
You know, it is interesting, Chrstine, because there are these issues of gender and race in this particular election. Saturday Night Live kind of made fun of it. They used the words of, just to our viewers, if they have any kids in the room or they don't want to hear the B word, to have them get out of the room. But I just want to show you this clip and get your take on it from SNL. Let's listen.
What bothers me the most is that people say that Hillary is a bitch. And let me say something about that. Yeah, she is. And so am I. And so is one.
Yeah, deal with it.
You know what? Bitches get stuff done. That's why Catholic schools use nuns as teachers and not priests. Those nuns are mean old clans, and they sleep on cots, and they're allowed to hit you. And at the end of the school year, you hated those bitches, but you knew the capital of Vermont. So I'm saying it's not too late, Texas and Ohio. Get on board. Bitch is the new black.
Chrstine, it is interesting to watch. And even Hillary Clinton was told by her staffers to take a look at Saturday Night Live. She mentioned it to some reporters. What about that? I mean, that phrase, and that's looked at, but, you know, she's been for so long trying to prove that she's tough enough to be commander-in-chief that people say she's lost some of the other parts in her campaign.
Well, first of all, let me say, as a graduate of the Convent of the Sacred Heart, I loved my nuns. I probably challenged them a little bit, but I loved them all. So,
and you remember the capital of Vermont,
that's
right?
I do, and they were kind and loving, and all in the spirit of Sisters of the Sacred Heart. I will say that, again, going back to some of the research that's been done, when it comes to women candidates, there is a double bind. If a woman candidate is too tough, then there's the stereotype you just talked about. On the other hand, if there are attacks on women that are seen as playing into gender stereotypes, they also fail. In California, I remember being at a Unity dinner where Gray Davis had just compared Dianne Feinstein to Leona Helmsley, and he was booed by high-level Democratic donors and supporters who were just shocked by that. And it took him a long time to come back from that, because he realized that he had crossed the line. And in that case, Senator Feinstein said, look, I'm not saying don't hit a girl. I'm saying don't attack a woman based on gender stereotypes. And I think she was right. So it will be a challenge for the fall. But again, the stance to this is support women, support candidates of color, and encourage this young generation that anything is possible for them.
Chrstine Pelosi, great to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.